Hello, what's up? In this video, I will show you how I made this cool looking Dagaimo shirt. First of all, I drew an outline of the design on another piece of paper. I recommend cutting the paper to the desired size before drawing on it. By doing this, you will know the exact size of what the design should be. Before cutting out the stencil, cover the front and back of the entire paper with clear tape. This provides both additional strength and resistance. You also want to make sure you overlap each line of tape you lay down. Most, and I repeat, most, air bubbles can be removed by applying pressure across the tape with some sort of straight edge. Don't worry if there's still some left because it shouldn't affect the final results. Also, I'm not trying to flex with this Bala $10 iTunes gift card. It was a gift which I happily expended on K-pop songs. Side audio. I'm well aware that my cutting board is pretty wonky donkey, and just so that you're not concerned, this board is strictly for crafts and not preparing food. I am not dumb enough to be the cause of my own death. Never mind. I take that back, unfortunately. Now you want to cut off the excess tape with some scissors. Excuse me, just close your hands, that's all, never mind, screw scissors. Who needs them? Not me. It's all about the X-Acto life. X-Acto knife life? You know what, I bet kindergarteners are laughing at me now. Wow. Just wow. I guess I love X-Acto knives so much that I even dedicated a clip to me taking off the cap. Why am I so lame? Another side audio. I'm using the word design because your shirt doesn't have to say Dagaimo. It doesn't even have to be a word. Just make sure that whatever you choose, it's simple. I'm telling you this now because I failed quite miserably. I got a little, well, more like really ambitious and wanted to stencil on a phrase to the shirt. What a big mistake. It was all good until I had to cut out the design. I already knew that this would be more difficult because the letters are smaller and require more precision. The thing is, those two qualities made everything impossible. Off camera, I tried to cut out the first letter with an X-Acto knife. Yep, no, that did not work. But I didn't give up there, even though I should have. I thought that piercing an outline of the design would be sufficient. It was a similar idea to marking up a pumpkin with indents to serve as an outline before carving. Again, no, on multiple levels. So yeah. Scrap this and let's just move on. finally time to transfer the design onto the shirt. I'm not sure if I already mentioned this, but I was making the shirt as a gift to a friend, and luckily we have a similar figure and ratio. Before I taped down the stencil in place, I wore the shirt and freely played around with the placement. I was able to physically see where the design would look most flattering when the shirt was worn. However, this technique only works if the shirt is for yourself or for someone of an alike physique to you. If this is not the case, you can always guesstimate. Wherever you are placing the stencil, there should be no wrinkles, so you got to iron them out. And yes, my shirt itself is very wrinkly, but it's at the bottom half, so it doesn't matter. But mostly, I'm a lazy person. Prior to painting, put some sort of barrier between the front and the back fabrics of the shirt. This is a crucial step, even if you're working with a thicker fabric, because the paint may seep through the layers. Whether it's a thick piece of cardboard or a cutting board like me, you can use anything on hand as long as it's thick, flat, and large enough to support the design, but not so gigantic that the shirt is stretched out. The shirt should lay smoothly around the barrier. To transfer the design onto the shirt, dab on paint with a cosmetic sponge. Fabric paint is preferred, but you can use regular acrylic paint like me as long as you build it up to a solid layer and only hand wash the article of clothing. Working in thin layers produces the best results, so I recommend that you, after dipping the sponge straight into paint, dab the sponge once or twice on the side to remove any excess. Just as a precautionary measure, lift the fabric from the barrier every now and then to ensure that the shirt doesn't stick to it. Because acrylic paint dries really quickly, especially in thin layers, by the time you coat the entire stencil, where you first apply the paint should be already dry and you can begin the next application. Remove the stencil immediately after your last layer because it becomes more difficult once the paint is dry. Since the stencil leans more makeshift than professional, the design will not be perfect even with the most dexterity. I do know another way to make an even better stencil that can give you the most crisp and precise lines. The material I use for this stencil is widely accessible, really easy to use, and most of all, cheap. If you want me to make a tutorial on this, let me know in the comments. Fortunately, you can fix it up with a little more paint and patience. I personally prefer using both a detail and angle brush for this step. This is the final product, and since it's a gift, I wanted to wrap it, so I upcycled this clothing package from Costco. Is anyone interested in knowing how I did this? I would have made the packaging K-pop themed, but my friend unfortunately isn't into that music genre. You gots to respect other people's opinions. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching. Feel free to make any changes as this is simply a guideline and should serve as inspiration. If you have any video suggestions, let me know. I'm always open to new ideas. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe if you would like to see more of this burnt noodle and its creations.